Hi guys, thanks for tuning into the channel. My name is Liz and I'm a reseller in Maryland. This morning I felt like running off to an estate sale for a little while, but what I didn't realize is that it was day 2 of this particular sale. Instead of being disappointed though, you will not believe what I found. Let's go check it out. So as I posted on the screen, if sort of bouncy footage disturbs you, I do apologize and you might want to skip ahead 4 minutes. But I had just gotten in this house and I was recording with my phone and I'm trying to kind of sweep to give you an idea of what's there, but also I am actively shopping and apparently this is how I do it. So if it's really irritating, I do apologize, but I thought you might want to see what the home looked like. I didn't want to discard the footage for those of you who enjoy looking around and virtually shopping and sort of getting the lay of the land. So that's why that's still in here. So they had quite a few rooms at this house. This was day 2 of this sale. There was plenty of pretty good stuff left. I could have definitely done a deeper dive. I don't do well with dolls, but someone who does do well with dolls would have had a field day with the Barbies and the Cabbage Patch Kids. I didn't see too many vintage linens I had to have. I did see some creepy dolls, which I kind of like. You'll have to wait to the end to see if any of them made the cut and came home with me. And so, yeah, this sale was full of surprises. I think that you're going to really like what I did end up bringing home. And I think you'll be shocked, like she is, about the value of some of those things I brought home. So again, I'm just trying to show you the myriad assortment of items, and you may see me pick up a few things. I do well with brass animals, and so spoiler alert, I did bring those brass quail. Is it quail or quails? Anyway, those birds home with me. This is a little bit of a better view of that basement room. You can see I'm repeating my steps, and I often do that, and that's a tip that I would share with you that I think I actually evolved into naturally as a picker. I make one sweep that's really fast, and then I go through a couple more times, and I almost always find stuff the second time around. I actually did read that in Mike Wolfe's book. I think it's actually American Pickers. I think that's the name of the book. He does have some good tips that I use all the time. One is, if you've never seen it before, buy it, which I did at this sale. You'll see that soon. And also make several sweeps around a sale, or probably even a flea market or whatever, a site, I guess. They didn't have a lot of vintage Christmas. You'll see that I picked up a few things in the haul at the end, but that might be because they already had day 1 of the sale. It seemed to me that the sale was not that well attended. Ooh, now I'm noticing those bookends. Ooh, I like those. I wish I had gotten those. That happens too. I guess I needed a couple more sweeps. I think maybe they didn't have a very good turnout. You'll see later sort of in what I found why I think that. For jewelry lovers, there's some jewelry coming up I think that you'll really like. But thanks for bearing with the footage. I know it gets a little wacky. I hope you skipped ahead if you get a little seasick from it. You can see I slowed down by this loop around. I think this might have been my 3rd time in the doll room. I was also trying not to film too much of other people were around because I think I was really the only one there for most of the time. But if another picker came in, it seemed too obvious. But anyway, moving on to the haul. So we're going to do a quick haul outside of this one estate sale that I just randomly decided to go to on a Sunday, and I didn't know until I got there that it was actually day 2. So I don't know why some of these things were left behind. Maybe the prices were too high. I heard the guy quoting some eBay prices, which is usually not a great idea to do as a seller or maybe even a buyer. So if we start here, I've never really seen this collapsible light. I don't know if you can kind of see this or not. It's really bright out here for me. But this light came in its original box, and I like the way it's compact, collapsible, and you can take it places with you. So I bought that, and you'll see in the comp, those are like $25 to $50, and I paid less than $5 for it. I'm sure if you've been watching the channel for a while, you see me buy boxes of random stuff. There's almost always something of value in there, and I haven't finished going through this box. But I have a lot of friends who make jewelry from remnants, and I almost always find something really cool in here. I did pull out a few things, not these two, from that box to just show you, and not this one actually, that you can find really cool stuff in there, sometimes sterling, sometimes gold, collectible buttons, whatever. I bought this bracelet. I'm almost positive it is sterling and turquoise, Native American, obviously. It's well made regardless. I'll have to look for marks, and if it doesn't have any, I will have to test it, which is a pretty simple process. But for $1, I couldn't pass that up, so I was surprised that was still there. This is just a nice costume piece, this sort of like intaglio, I think that is actually abalone shell. You can see the iridescence like an oil spill. This is probably like an Avon piece or something like that, but it's a relatively unusual piece for me to find, and people like cameos. I think they're coming back. At least that's what I've been told. They had a lot of brass in this house, and I kind of wish I'd bought more of it, but I loved this footed compote bowl with this sort of like, kind of reminds me of like Aztec sort of looking imprinting, stamping, embossing on it. I think that's a really, really cool piece for a mid-century space. They had fake flowers in it, which physically pained me, and I said, please don't include those in the price, but I do love the piece, and they laughed. I guess they didn't like fake flowers either. So I didn't look up all these little pieces, obviously. I probably will look up something similar for these and put up a comp for you guys just to give you an idea, but I do buy costume jewelry. It sells regularly in the booth, even no name, for $8 to $12. I've never actually had these Desert Storm cards before. They're not sealed, but I feel like they're sort of unusual. It says 1991 on this particular card in the back. I grabbed them because I don't know. I've never seen them before. These are cute little vintage, like plastic celluloid Santa ornaments. We've got him playing tennis. Tennis is the only game in which love means nothing. It actually is the word for egg. I'm sure you know that. So I grabbed those because those will sell for $8 to $12 a piece in the booth, and I thought this would make the coolest purse. Now it's a toy. It's filled. Look at this, is so cute. Hold on, let me turn it around. It's filled with like doctor and medical supplies, among a few other toys, like a slice of bread. But I thought that was really cute. I think I'd like to use that as a purse. So that might be how I sell it, depending on if I find any other comps with the pieces intact. I just thought that was really cool, so I grabbed that. And these have actually more value than you might expect. These acrylic paperweights with coins embedded in them. When you look at that comp, I can't believe that $40 is the going rate right now. I've been selling those for years for certainly less than that. Now, I do like to grab unusual vintage paperbacks. This one felt like a message. I didn't even look that one up yet, but maybe I will. I was feeling kind of like there was some magic going on this morning because I was so happy with some of the cool things I found, even though it was the second day, so I grabbed that. Mad Magazine stuff sells. Jaws is such a classic. I've never seen this pocket stock book before. I don't know if it actually has value with these stamps or not, because a lot of them have a stamp on top of them. I couldn't resist. It was unusual. I feel like definitely people are going to want this Woodstock book and this Inside Pop book, which actually has more value than the Woodstock one, about twice as much. I was surprised. Now, if you are a child of the 80s, the spree was where it was at, and I couldn't resist this vintage compact umbrella. Also surprised by that comp when I found a similar color. You also know, if you've been watching for a while, that I like tins, especially full of sewing notions. These are probably $10 to $12 a piece, and I haven't looked these up yet, but I will look one up and show you a comp for these little tiny like cross stitch ornaments. I'll look one up and put that comp up for you. I just bought it because you can never have too many needles, and also I just thought these were really cute. I like the graphics on those. They sell at the booth, they can sell online. Brass animal figurines do seem to always be a solid seller, and so I picked up this family of quail and this family of owls. The last time I had a brass owl, people went crazy over it, and I think it was $20 for one owl. People were messaging me for days afterwards, you know who you are, and so I have more brass owls for those people. So I'm just going to pan over to sort of the more unusual items. This bar cart, now you guys know I buy bar carts a lot. They wanted 75 for it, and I was tempted, but I asked him if he could do any better since it was the second day, and he said that he would do 40. Bar carts sell really well for me in the booth, and they sell on Facebook, and this one is super cool because it's like astrology or zodiac. So it's got like different images for the different signs of the zodiac. Gemini's over here, Taurus. It's got spaces down here to store bottles and such, glassware. And this, I believe, is Italian. Now, this isn't like, a $2,000 bar cart, I don't think, based on the type of wood it's made out of and the decoupage, but it does appear to be Italian. I just haven't found the comp for it yet, so I'll have to look that up and let you know. But if you see something you've never seen before, you gotta buy it. We learned that from Mike Wolf on American Pickers. So that's a really, really cool piece I'm gonna put in the booth. And lastly, we've got this brass table, and they call this a spider leg table, which I wish they wouldn't. These are like from Morocco, or at least Moroccan inspired. And this one is really cool, and they polished the brass, which normally I would say don't do that, but they had already done it, and it actually looks really good. The tray top on these comes off, hold on, and you can mount it on the wall if you prefer, and fold up the legs. They fold up into like a flat little package, and that's really handy if you just need like an occasional table, so to speak, but it still makes a really great table for your living room, a side table, or even a plant stand because it's a brass top, so you're not going to damage it. And the comps on those are pretty good. Some of them are a little crazy. I'll try to put up 1 or 2 comps, but I'm going to say at least 180 to several hundred depending on the platform you're looking on and the size of that table. So I spent $115. The only thing I haven't shown you yet is the other jewelry I pulled out of the costume jewelry. So I will show you that inside where it's not so bright and walk you through that real quick. So I promised you guys a jewelry haul, and I brought in a few of the pieces that I just showed you outside. I had a chance to look them up. So this is probably, I think, 82nd Airborne. This is a pin. It's not sterling or anything, but maybe $15 to $25 for that. And this is kind of surprising what you're going to end up seeing here. I was surprised anyway. I thought for sure this was a costume piece. I thought maybe, it was real shell, abalone shell. I hadn't looked at it with a loop yet because all these things were like $1 a piece. So whether it was costume or not, it was worth $1. It is actually pretty clearly marked that it is sterling. It's by estatesale, which I've never had that brand before, and it's probably worth about 80 bucks. So there you go. Get yourself a magnifier. I did mention the turquoise bracelet outside, but what I did not mention was that it appears that maybe Native American jewelry prices have gone up, because I thought this was like a $50 piece, but the comps I'm finding are much higher. I didn't see a mark on this, but based on my experience, this is a sterling piece. I do believe this is real turquoise. And I don't know if you know this, but different types of turquoise, like see how it has that brownish, I think that's from copper, kind of stripe. They come from different mines and different areas. If I remember, I'll look it up and let you guys know. Or leave me a comment if you know turquoise way better than I do. I am not fluent in that yet, although it's something I aspire to. This is a vintage mood ring, not sterling, but such a great like nostalgia piece. And they're about $25 on Etsy, so that's worth $1. I thought for sure this was going to be something amazing like Coro. No, it's not. I don't like to always pull out my loop at sales. If things are $1 a piece, I don't want to add insult to injury by inspecting them so closely to see what I've got. If I just take the risk on myself. I just say, well, this is worth $1 to me no matter who made it, because I know I can sell it for $10 in the booth if it has no stamp, which it has no stamp. And I know if it's Coro, it's well worth $1, for example. Sugar Britches turns out to be a doll. This woman had a lot of dolls. I did not buy any, as you know, but I think this is a hilarious pin and could be worn by anyone who really loves their significant other and calls them Sugar Britches. So here in the middle, we've got a few pieces that are sort of like commemorative, like membership, fraternity type pins, colleges. I always buy those. I don't know, I have a weakness for them. Does it pay off? Sometimes they're gold. These are gold filled. At least 2 of them are gold filled, but they do have some collectability and more value than their metal content because they're from mid-century years, like the 1950s, say at Loyola College. And I feel like somebody out there is collecting stuff like that. Or maybe you give it as a gift to someone who's graduating from Loyola. Here I got some buttons. I always buy buttons. I have a lot of buttons. I also sell buttons. And my friend Celeste, shout out to Celeste, is a button aficionado. And she wants to share this tip with you. Do not mix your metal buttons with your celluloid and plastic buttons, because over time, it will destroy them. So you better save some time today to go separate out your buttons. Have I done that yet? No. But listen, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. I don't like to scrap metals very much. I would rather keep a piece alive, as I call it, and sell it for its value as a piece of art. The exception would be a piece such as this, which is clearly marked sterling on the back, that has 3 initials on it. If it were just a J, I have a hope of finding a J, but I think it's like JWC. I don't think I'm going to find a JWC who wants this exact piece. So that might get scrapped. It's unfortunate, but I'm not sure what else. I'm not sure it would be great upcycled either. This little tiny Bronco pin probably is sterling, but I didn't see a mark. It's so cute. I'm not sure if I'll sell it online or not, or what price I'll put on it, but I love it. And then this surprised me as well. I thought this was costume, but no, the sterling is Elko sterling, and the bracelet alone is probably worth $75 is my guess, without all of the sterling charms. And I'll put up a comp for just one of the charms to give you an idea of what's going on here. So I felt really lucky to get that. And I love charm bracelets because it's like a snapshot. It's like a jewelry photo album of this person's life. Like you get to know them. It's like an icebreaker with someone you'll never meet. This person had already passed away. And I just thought this was just amazing. And I wonder if these are states she visited, if that was like the way that she themed her bracelet. But I thought it was great anyway, and a nice find. And I would never scrap anything like that. I'd probably sell it intact, but if I don't do that, or I don't keep it in my small collection of charm bracelets, I might take the charms off and sell them individually if I'm patient, which is unusual. I do look at religious medallions. I know this one's really small. Sometimes they are sterling. They're always collectible and sellable, not for big money, but still worth grabbing. And again, remember, everything was like $1 a piece. So if the bracelet is worth about 100, let's say, I'm just going to throw out that number, that more than covers and gives me a profit on these other items. So I did have a really lucky break today. When I'm shopping, you've heard me say this, I just shop on instinct. And I grab things that I like the way they look. And then later on, I figure out why I liked them. It's kind of the way I write poetry too. I just kind of like spit it out. It's very kind of impulsive. And then later on, I'll say, oh yeah, that's why I was writing about that. Well, this piece is clearly marked 10 karat gold, the chain and the amethyst pendant. My guess is this is probably maybe mid-century, maybe a little bit earlier. So that was a nice little find. And then this was sort of like a little bit of a tip. If you see broken jewelry that's in a jewelry box, it usually means that it's gold, because you don't keep broken jewelry in your jewelry box for years if it's disposable. And the last little tip I have is if you see one earring, check it out, because why would you save one earring forever unless it might be gold? That one is also clearly marked on the post. So it was a great estate sale. I didn't expect to get so lucky. I feel really grateful. I'm excited about listing and selling some of these things. I hope you guys get out there, you find a sale that gets you excited and makes you some good money. And I hope that you never stop searching, and I will see you guys next time.